up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Inside the Vinyl. I'm your host, Tim Bianconi. If you would go ahead and like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel below, that would be greatly appreciated. If you could also hit that notification bell so you can be notified when we put out new content, that would be appreciated also. So I got something in the mail yesterday that I'm really excited about. It is a reissue that I've been waiting for some time, and that would be the 1993 album by Lynyrd Skynyrd, The Last Rebel. So this album originally came out on February 16th, 1993. It was released on the Atlantic label. It was the second album of the Johnny Van Zant reunion era. It was produced by Barry Beckett. Let's see, and it reached number 64 on the charts. And at the time, there were still 4 original recording members on this album. Gary Rossington, Ed King, Leon Wilkeson, and Billy Powell. So you still had 4/7 of the original lineup from the first couple of records. Or first 3 records, really. Now, a lot of people sleep on the Johnny Van Zant era, saying that it's not real Skynyrd and it's not Skynyrd without Ronnie, and that's totally understandable. However, given the producers they were using and given the fact that you still had a majority of, the original recording lineup, the first 2 or 3 albums they made with Johnny, I think, stand up to almost anything that the original Skynyrd put out. And that's just my personal opinion. And to be fair, I really got into Skynyrd based on, hearing stuff from the 1991 record. And then, of course, I reached back because I was a teenager at the time, and then I reached backwards and heard all the original stuff and love it too. But, I do love the first handful of Johnny Van Zant era Lynyrd Skynyrd albums. So this particular reissue just came out on November 24th. It is reissued on the Music on Vinyl, or MOV label. And this is one of 2,000 of these that are being pressed, and I've got number 663 according to the back of my record here. So let's go ahead and open this bad boy up and see what we have. All right, so there's the front cover, Lynyrd Skynyrd, The Last Rebel. On the back cover, it's got the track listing and some other stuff. So on the hype sticker here, it says Lynyrd Skynyrd, The Last Rebel, limited edition 2,000 individually numbered copies on silver colored vinyl. That should be pretty fancy. It is 180 gram vinyl. This should be really cool. So let's go ahead and open this up. So Music on Vinyl, whenever I've gotten stuff from them, it never really comes in like sealed shrink wrap. It comes in these, I don't know, I guess the protective sleeves, but it's almost like the comic book type protective sleeves with the sticky adhesive on the back, which I'm not real crazy about because I've had them stick to the record to the outer sleeve and ruin them sometime before. But I totally get why they use them, and they do their job quite well. So anyway. Without the protective sleeve, here is the cover of The Last Rebel. And here is the back cover again. No gatefold or anything. And I'm really excited to see what's inside here. Okay, so far. All right, so there's no inner sleeve or anything else, no lyric sheet or anything else like you got with the cassette. So that's a little bit disappointing. But we'll go ahead and see what we have here. All right. So anyway, nice black anti-static inner sleeve. And if I pull the record out, they weren't lying. This is limited edition silver vinyl. That's pretty cool. It's got your standard Atlantic Records sticker in the middle. Side 1, side 2, even though I think it's upside down. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Let's talk about this record for a minute. Like I said, a lot of people sleep on the Johnny Van Zant era of Lynyrd Skynyrd. And I will admit, I wasn't a huge fan of the last couple albums they made. God and Guns and Last of a Dying Breed, but the albums before that I thought held the true spirit of Lynyrd Skynyrd as well as almost anything, and especially these first 2 records. 1991 and this one especially are really special albums to me. Some of the first Skynyrd albums that I was introduced to, that again, like I said, introduced me to the band's earlier 70s output. So I'm grateful for these records. And again, I think this is an awesome record. Barry Beckett, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I think he's one of the Swampers. This wasn't recorded at Muscle Shoals from what I saw, but I think he is one of the original Swampers from the Muscle Shoals studio in Alabama. I'll have to double check that. I do know he was Hank Williams Jr.'s producer or something like that at the time as well. But awesome record. Good Lovin's Hard to Find is an opening track. It's a great track. One Thing, nice upbeat track. Can't Take That Away. It's kind of a ballad about the state of America at the time. The Last Rebel, the title track. I just recently read in another compilation that song is on, that the lyrics of that song, Johnny wrote that about Gary because he was the last of the core 3 Lynyrd Skynyrd guys, after Ronnie and Alan, of course, passed away. And of course, Gary has since passed away. But at the time, he was the last of the original trio that started this band. Out of Hell in My Dodge was the first song I heard on radio from this album. You know, South of Heaven, Love Don't Always Come Easy. And then, of course, the last song, Born to Run, is a song written about Lacey Van Zant, you know, and the truck driving and all that, you know, he did to, you know, raise his family and all that kind of stuff. It's a cool song. Has a slow part at the beginning and then builds up to a Freebird-esque type ending, you know, with a lot of guitar solos and piano solos and everything else. Maybe not quite as intense as the Freebird solos or the Freebird ending or whatever, but definitely a really, really cool song and a great way to end the record. So check it out if you have a chance. Like I said, there's only 2,000 of these being made. Otherwise, you'd be paying a pretty penny to get this on vinyl. But I know there's also it's also available digitally. I'm sure it's on Spotify. You can find it on CD pretty easy. And I do know, I can't remember the name of the company, but I do know there's a company in Europe that recently released a Skynyrd like CD box set that included like 4 whole albums, 1991, Last Rebel, and then the last 2 albums that they did as one box, and it's all remastered and everything. So check that out if you want to hear this album, you know, remastered in its best sounding format. But if you want to get it on vinyl, go to Amazon, go to Barnes & Noble, go wherever, go to Music on Vinyl. They should have it there for you. And I promise you, if you are a Ronnie Van Zant fan who is not warmed up to the Johnny years, give this record a try. I think more than any other Johnny era album, I think this album, you know, truly has the spirit of the original Lynyrd Skynyrd. So that's all I've got for you this time. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you can be notified when we put out new content. I've got the rest of my unboxing series where we unbox reissues, we unbox new albums, we unbox box sets. Sometimes they're CDs, sometimes they're records. It just depends on what's coming out. Deluxe editions, all that stuff. I've got other things in my Inside the Vinyl series, like my live albums, as well as my Lost Classic series. I've got some concert footage from some different concerts and festivals over the last few years, and I've got some crappy, mediocre disc golf coverage starring some crappy and mediocre players like myself. So like, comment, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.
There you go, boy.